People often turn their backs on the Bible and say that it is out of date and written so long ago that it cannot be relevant to us in this modern day and age. So is this true? Is the Bible just a collection of ancient writings that contain nothing new or profound for us in the 21st century? Can we find any overwhelming facts in the Bible that truly show that God is the creator of this mighty universe? And does He share some of these facts with us? Is there any detail given that we have only in recent years begun to understand or comprehend, and yet God wrote these things down thousands of years ago? So I'd like to take you to one verse, and bear in mind that these words were written by the prophet Isaiah over 2,700 years ago, long before the invention of telescopes and modern scientific knowledge. And the verse in question is from Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 22. Here tucked away is a verse that contains some truly remarkable statements and facts that only could have come from God, who created the heavens and the earth. So this incredible verse opens with the first statement telling us of God, that it is He who sits above the circle of the earth. Just think about what this verse is telling us, especially when we bear in mind that these words were written 2,700 years ago. You see, only when you go into space, when you leave this planet and head to the moon, are you fully able to grasp what this is saying and how accurate it is. The earth forms a perfect circle. Just look at this incredible photo taken by the Apollo astronauts as they traveled to the moon just over 50 years ago. It forms a perfect circle against the backdrop of an infinite universe, exactly as Isaiah wrote down all those years ago. How could he have known that unless he was told by God what to write? But notice too that Isaiah says that God sits above the circle of the earth. You can't really sit above a two-dimensional circle, but you can definitely sit above a sphere, a ball or globe. So once again, Isaiah is pointing out to us that this circle is in fact a sphere or a ball. What is even more remarkable is when we tie this verse together with Job's words from Job chapter 26 and verse 7. And we read there, talking of God, He stretches out the north over the void and hangs the earth on nothing. Job was written possibly 3,500 years ago, when man had no understanding of what a vacuum was, let alone that space, that zone outside of the earth and its atmosphere, is in fact nothing, an empty vacuum. And the earth hangs there, pulled around the sun by that invisible force called gravity. Look again at that remarkable photo taken of the earth, hanging there on nothing, just as God told us in Job. Verse 22 in Isaiah continues, and here we are told that we, its inhabitants, are like grasshoppers. We can so easily gloss over this verse without carefully thinking about the relevance of what God is telling us all those years ago. What is one of the more unique features of a grasshopper? In fact, it is built into its very name. Well, it hops or jumps. It spends its life jumping off the ground, and it is how it mainly moves around. We as human beings are the only living creature that is obsessed with doing the same thing, trying to get up off the ground onto which we are bound by Earth's gravity. From ancient times, man has become obsessed with flying like a bird and ultimately jumping off this planet, getting into space using rockets. What a remarkable prophecy about our nature and obsession as human beings, fulfilled for the first time by the Russian astronaut Yuri Gagarin in 1961. Verse 22 continues and tells us that God stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them. Notice here the important double emphasis by the words stretches and spreads. They both carry the distinct action of moving something apart. So what are we being told here? Actually, something quite remarkable again. You see, back in 1929, Edwin Hubble, after which the famous Hubble telescope was named, established that the universe is expanding. The galaxies are spreading out from each other. Here in Isaiah, 2,600 years before Hubble, Isaiah wrote that this was the case. He didn't know that, but God did. And the really funny thing is that scientists don't really know what is causing this expansion. There isn't enough observable energy in the universe to do it. So they call this extra energy, that energy that they can't see but can see its effect. They call it dark energy. And all they need to do to know what it is and where it comes from is to go to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 22. Here God says, "It is me. I'm doing it with my power, the Holy Spirit. I am stretching out and spreading out the heavens like a curtain." Finally, verse 22 ends with God telling us that He is spreading the heavens like a tent to dwell in. Again, this is another truly remarkable prophecy about mankind. God has made the heavens, outer space, as a place we can actually pitch a so-called tent and live there. Today we do this. There is currently a permanent human existence living in space in the International Space Station. Since November 2000, for nearly 24 years, there has been a permanent occupation of this space station by man. This idea or concept would have been unthinkable, unimaginable in Isaiah's time. In fact, it was probably unthinkable even 100 years ago. But nevertheless, God told us that we would not only be able to do this, but in fact told us we would do so all those years ago. So back to our questions we posed at the beginning. Is the Bible just a collection of ancient writings that contain nothing new or profound for us in the 21st century? Can we find any remarkable facts in the Bible that truly show that God is the creator of this mighty universe and He has shared some of these facts with us? And the answers are obvious, aren't they? The Bible is not just a collection of ancient and irrelevant writings, but it is indeed contained some astonishing facts and detail that we only now, in this day and age, can begin to comprehend, let alone fully understand.